The government has said that it has taken a series of measures to reduce dependency on Chinese goods and increase the manufacturing capacity of domestic industries and their competitiveness. Replying to supplementaries on India-China trade relations in Rajya Sabha, Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said the government has laid focus on Make in India initiative and took efforts by providing production-linked incentives to domestic industries to increase their manufacturing capabilities. He said that the trade deficit, which was 1 billion US dollars with China in 2003-4, had risen to 36 billion US dollars over the 10 years. The minister said that India has become a large marketplace, inviting substandard goods into the country in these 10 years, and import from China has increased from 4 billion US dollars in 2003-4 to 51 billion US dollars in 2013-14. 2 months after the Reserve Bank issued guidelines on digital lending, banks, NBFCs, and fintech players are still awaiting clarity on many aspects, including FLDG system. FLDG is a lending model between a fintech and a regulated entity in which a third party guarantees to compensate up to a certain percentage of default in a loan portfolio of the regulated entities. Under these agreements, the fintech originates a loan and promises to compensate the partners up to a pre-decided percentage in case customers fail to repay. The bank NBFC partners lend through the fintech but from their own books. FLDG helps extend the customer base of traditional lenders but relies on the fintech's underwriting capabilities. A report by an RBI constituted working group on digital lending has laid down risk of FLDG agreements with unregulated entities. The other concern is that FLDG codes are often passed on to the customers. Artificial highlands where animals can escape during floods. 200 plus anti-poaching camps alternate livelihood training for local communities. These measures at the Kaziranga National Park in Assam will form the cornerstone of an Indo-French initiative. The Kaziranga project is a part of a large Assam project on forest and biodiversity conservation (APFBC), for which agency France D Development AFD has committed funding of 80.2 million euro for a 10-year period between 2014 to 2024. The project conceptualized the reforestation of 33,500 hectares of land and the training of 10,000 community members in alternate livelihoods by 2024. APFBC Society was created by State Government of Assam as a special purpose vehicle registered under the Society's Registration Act 1860. The Society has the mandate for planning, implementation, monitoring, coordination and management of all the activities proposed under the project. With French and Indian technical and financial support, the Indo-Pacific Parks Partnership will facilitate partnership activities for interested natural park of the Indo-Pacific region. These activities include biodiversity conservation, wildlife management, and engagement with local communities. Located in the state of Assam, it is the single largest undisturbed and representative area in the Brahmaputra Valley floodplain. It is inhabited by the world's largest population of one-horned rhinoceros as well as many mammals including tigers, elephants, panthers and bears and thousands of birds. It was declared a national park in 1974. UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site in 1985. It became a tiger reserve in 2006. It is also recognized as an important bird area by BirdLife International for conservation of avifaunal species. Jal Shakti Minister Rajendra Singh recently chaired 10th meeting of Empowered Task Force of National Mission for Clean Ganga. NMCG was established in 2011 under the Societies Registration Act 1860 as a registered society. NMCG under National Ganga Council is supported by state level program management groups in the states of Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. It is an initiative taken by the Government of India to address the pollution of River Ganga by providing financial and technical assistance. To accomplish mandate of National Ganga Council, prevention, control and abatement of environmental pollution and rejuvenation of the river Ganga by adopting a river basin approach to maintain minimum ecological flows in the river Ganga with the aim of ensuring water quality and environmentally sustainable development. Restoring the wholesomeness of river defined in the terms of ensuring Aviral Dhara, that is continuous flow of water, Nirmal Dhara, that is unpolluted flow of water. It has a two-tier management structure comprising of governing council and executive committee. The work of coordinating, supervising and deliberating on funding Namami Ganga projects is carried out by an executive committee of NMCG that meets every month. In 2020, the World Bank has approved a 5-year loan to the National Mission for Clean Ganga and Namami Ganga project worth rupees 3000 crore to help stem pollution in the Ganga river basin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has recently shared the first satellite images of Gujarat and Arabian Sea sent by the newly launched OceanSat-3 satellite from space. ISRO's PSLV C-54 rocket launch the OceanSat-3 along with 8 nanosatellites including Bhutan-Sat from Sriharikota. OceanSat-3 is the third in its set of ocean satellites that are part of India's Ocean Observation Program. It is a multi-sensor observation satellite which is expected to operate till 2027. OceanSat-3 is envisaged to observe ocean color data, sea surface temperature, and wind vector data to use in oceanography, climatic and meteorological applications. It also supports value-added products such as potential fishing zones. OceanSat-3 is tandem with OceanSat-2, will improve the receptivity of ocean color measurements to every 24-hour and wind vector measurements to every 12-hour and help predict cyclones better. President Draupadi Murmu has said that only education can bring change to the entire nation. She was addressing the third convocation of Doon University in Dehradun. The president said the country is moving towards a self-reliant India, for which the commitment of students is needed. She remarked that there is no harm in learning all the languages of the world, but the mother tongue should not be forgotten. We are identified only by our mother tongue, she added. The president said, British ruled us for many years, but today the whole world is looking towards India because we have the concept of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Appreciating the teaching of foreign and local languages at Doon University, she said, Doon University will always have to be ready to do better human resources. The president noted that the establishment of Demographic Research Center in the university is a good step. The state of Punjab has recently furthered the cause of right to life and personal liberty of prisoners by allowing conjugal visits for inmates. Conjugal rights are rights created by marriage, that is, the right of a husband or the wife to the company of their spouse. In the context of prisons, however, conjugal visits refers to the concept of allowing a prisoner to spend some time in privacy with his spouse within the precincts of a jail. It is often argued that conjugal visits can have positive impacts in the form of psychological health benefits for prisoners, preservation of marital ties, and reduction in the rates of homosexuality and sexual aggression within the prisons. Aside from the above, it is also argued that conjugal visits are a fundamental right of the spouses of the prisoners. Prisoner rights are internationally recognized through the United Nations Standard Minimum Rules for the Treatment of Prisoners, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, etc. Through such instruments, prisoners are guaranteed the right to life and inherent dignity. The right to maintain family relations, including conjugal visits, are included in these treaties. Most prison acts and rules across the country accept the importance of maintenance of continuity in family and social relations. Rajya Sabha gave its nod to withdraw a private member legislation Right to Health Bill 2021. The bill, which was taken up for further consideration, had been moved by RJD member Professor Manoj Kumar Jha. The aim of the bill was to provide health as a fundamental right to all the citizens and to ensure equitable access and maintenance of a standard of physical and mental health. Deputy Chairman asked RJD member to give his concluding remarks on the bill as the House had already completed the discussion during the last session and a total of 15 members from various political parties participated. Union Minister for Health and Family Welfare had replied to the discussion and had urged Professor Jha to withdraw his private member bill, but due to paucity of the time, the bill was not taken for further consideration at that time. Rajya Sabha also took up another private member bill for consideration and passing, namely the Constitution Amendment Bill 2022. Amendment of Article 123 and substitution of Articles 155 and 156. The bill was moved by CPIM member Dr. S. Shivadasan. According to the Union government, India plans to build more nuclear power plants to increase the production of clean energy. Government has recently approved 5 new sites for nuclear power plants and given the financial go-ahead to build 10 700 megawatt pressurized heavy water reactors. The 3-stage nuclear program is developed within the aim of utilizing the vast thorium reserves in India, about 25% of the world. Besides, India has limited availability of uranium reserves. Pressurized heavy water reactors are based on natural uranium that contains 99.3% uranium-238 and 0.7% uranium-235. Uranium-235 being fissile sets up the chain reaction and uranium-238 being non-fissile gets converted to plutonium-239 as a byproduct, which in turn used in the fast breeder reactors. Fast breeder reactors are primarily based on plutonium. Further, the breeder reactors use mix of plutonium-239 produced in the first stage and uranium-238 that is abundantly found on the earth to produce plutonium inside the reactor. Since the amount of plutonium produced inside the reactor is more than that initially used, it is called breeder reactor. In order to increase the probability of neutron hitting uranium-238, these reactors do not use a moderator to slow down neutrons and thus they are called fast breeder reactors. Once the plutonium-239 is completely used, thorium is introduced in the reactor to convert it into uranium-233 that will be used in the third stage. Thermal breeder reactors uses uranium-233 that is produced in the second stage using thorium-232. Thorium is also not radioactive and thus not fissile. Since these reactors also produce uranium-233 out of thorium-232, they are called breeder reactors. India has abundant thorium reserves in the form of monazite sand, and therefore the third stage is critical for India's nuclear energy basket. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has urged all the political parties to take collective efforts to make the winter session of Parliament more productive. Talking to media in the Parliament House complex, Mr. Modi appealed to them to give chances to young members to participate in debates which will help in shaping their future. He said efforts will be made to take important decisions during the session while keeping in mind to take country to new heights. Describing the session as significant, Prime Minister said it is taking place at a time when India has assumed the presidency of G20 and the country has entered into Amrit Kal. He said G20 is a unique opportunity to display India's capabilities before the world.